didn't want to go on air and say 9/11 was an inside job on 9/11 8 years ago. I didn't want, when Obama was like the second coming of Christ, to come out against him. I had to. And I'll tell you, every time I force myself to go with my conscience and the evidence, it has been hard, but at the same time easy to do. I don't know how to explain it. I guess at the final equation, because we all experience this individually, so while I talk about this, you've all had similar experiences or the exact experiences, I know. I mean, we're all human. We're cut from the same cloth. I don't like having to even go after evil people, but I can't control myself. When I know someone is a con artist and a fraud and a liar, I have to go after them. And at the same time, I always try to not go off half-cocked on people. I try to really do my research. That's why a lot of times there'll be a bombing or an attack or an event. People say, well, was it an inside job? And I say, I don't know. I got to research it. And then the evidence comes out later for whatever it may be, and then I report to you. And I give you my thought process. I say, this is the evidence I have. This is how I see it. What do you think? I'm going to go back to your calls. It's just, in the short term, it is not good for my, quote, career to come out and say the government murdered everybody at Waco, even though I had the evidence. It's not good to come out and go and confront Bush and get arrested for no reason. It's because I always do it first. I do it right at the peak of the enemy's popularity with whatever new scam they're selling. Because I'm the guy that hits the barbed wire. And I don't know why other people don't hit the barbed wire. Or maybe people aren't in the position to hit the barbed wire like I am. But I hit the barbed wire. I hit the barbed wire over and over and over and over again because it's what I've got to do. I've got to tell you the truth no matter what it is. And it's frustrating to have to sit here and plead with people and explain to people when it's so devastatingly obvious. I mean, if you did the research I do every day, you would know all this. You would know it. You wouldn't just hear it and then make a decision on whether or not you wanted to believe it. Folks, you have to get sick of being conned and manipulated. And even as Beck and others engage in fraud after fraud after fraud after fraud, I still have tried to hold back partial judgment and hoped. But there's something so much more evil about cloaking yourself as a sheep when you're a wolf, about lying to people who admire you and have have confidence in you. But I've noticed reading criminology and studying it and seeing it in life, evil people, psychopaths, sadistic psychopaths, they enjoy the conning of the people. And see, it's so alien to me. It's so alien. And then watching innocent good people be conned and abused is very painful. I mean, 10 years ago, I would have just gotten mad at Austin police covertly going in and setting up and shutting down the Austin gun show. But then watching them defend it and spin it, it just made me feel sick. I mean, I want to see them be good. I want to see them be honorable. I want to see honorableness and wholesomeness upheld. And then I think about the position I'm in, the responsibility I've got, and all the bad things I do when I'm trying to be good, when I'm trying to be accurate. And then I just think about how I have a conscience, and I'm trying to be as accurate and as good as I can be. And I can't imagine someone who is just as smart as I am or smarter, who chooses to join with evil and chooses to serve it and enjoys deception and I've got is being real. And that's not like, oh, I'm real, I'm holier than thou, I'm good, look how good I am. No, I'm bad. But the point is, I am real. And it's who I am. I'm not making myself that way. It's who I am. And that's all I've got. That's what I value. And then I realize, even if I try the straight and narrow, even if I focus, even if I'm watchful, even if I'm as wise as a serpent and harmful as a dove, or whatever the saying is, I still am going to let people down, folks. They're feverishly combing through anything and everything I ever did, making stuff up, lies you can't imagine. And so that's why it is about you being individuals. You know you're good. You know you love freedom. You're not perfect, but your heart is right. Your heart is right. You want to be a good person. You want to be loving. You want to be honorable. And you know you're good. And I know I'm good. I know I'm for real. And so all we can do is do our best and then give it to God. And just because it's the burden. It's the burden. It's such a burden. Like, I'm the main guy, the main real thing, you know, out there fighting the COINTELPRO and the operations. And we're having incredible success. But I see it all. I see the whole enemy and all of their nightmarish corruption and wickedness and their sins and who they are. And I see all the demons, folks. They're all around me. And I'm like, my God, I wish people could see what I see. I wish they knew the way I can read people now, the way I understand things. It's almost like torture. You know, the level of discernment I just continue to get. And then I'm in this weak body. I'm this weak, sinful person. And I'm like, what have you done to me, God? What? How? And God says, oh, it's going to get a lot worse, buddy. And now I can't change who I am. I can't go back. I can't join with the evil. I wouldn't. But it's just, if people knew what was really going on, if they could only understand, if they could only really have discernment, and I know a lot of you do, and that's why you're active in warning people. I'm really ranting today. I woke up at 3:35 in the morning, in the cold, dark, still of the night. I went into the living room and I just sat there for hours and hours, and and you know, those thoughts you're having in that still time, the understanding, it was so much more, so much information. It was like downloading information. It was just like, at a certain level, it's good to have the information and you want more of it, and it's so incredible, but then you want to warn people. And then you look at people like Obama and Roger Ailes and Glenn Beck and all of them, and they are just swollen, blood-filled ticks who are just so worldly. And you just can't believe the choices they've made. You can't believe, like, you lose the hatred of them. I've grown out of hating people. And that was a primitive, worldly, almost warming fire I had of competitiveness, and we're going to beat these people. And now it's not even that. I'm just like marveling at them, marveling at that they could do this, marveling that police and government could be so corrupt, marveling that North Korea could be so evil, marveling that they like it. You know, not just can they do it for petty worldly power. I mean, I'm 36 years old next month, and I already feel really old. I've gone past being afraid of death to not being afraid of death, to not wanting to die, but not even concerned about it anymore. And I know that I've got this far in life, and it seems like 5 minutes has passed, and in 5 minutes I'm going to be 85 years old, having a stroke, dying. And of course, all you've got in this world is being good and being honorable and loving your little species, sweet little humans. They've got such potential. And we let scum and degenerate, murderous, lying filth run our lives. And just rise up and beat them, folks. Get your guts warmed up. Get your soul on fire. Get some strength. I mean, folks, a lot of you Christians claim you're close to God. There's no way you are in tune with God. Because if you were in tune with God, you would feel the unlimitless love and passion and creativity and honor and everything that is good and everything that is wholesome, and you would feel ashamed of yourself, even if you were somebody trying to be good. You know, our greatest work is like rags. You would be ashamed of how much God loves you and what you've done, and how you didn't just appreciate all of creation, all of the beauty around you, the unbelievable blessing of consciousness, the unbelievable blessing of children, the unbelievable blessing of your wife or your husband. Instead, people think kids are bad and they abort them. It's just everything good is denigrated. Everything evil is risen up.